Very good. Thank you. There are 2 candidates on the election ballot for the office of the Clerk of the Circuit Court of Lake County. There is no incumbent. Rupam Dave is the Democratic candidate. Keith Brin is the Republican candidate. It was decided prior with the coin flip, decided to have that Mr. Brin would do the first opening.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for your invitation to be here today. My name is Keith Brin. I'm currently the Chief Deputy Clerk of the Circuit Court, and I'm running to be your next Clerk of the Circuit Court. This race is about experience and vision. For the last 3.5 years, I've been in the Circuit Clerk's office. Prior to that, I practiced law and I was in the business world. I've been doing everything in the Circuit Clerk's office that I'll be doing as your Circuit Clerk on day 1. Everything from learning how to be a Deputy Clerk of the Circuit Court. It's not something they taught us in law school. Also managing the office, strategic and operationally, and that includes the budget. In fact, I just went before our county board with our budget, and I'm proud to report to you all, as I was proud to report to them, that our office is in wonderful financial shape. We actually have excess revenues in the office. Excess revenues means we don't have use of any tax dollars in the office, both operationally and strategically. That means for all of our technology upgrades as well. And that's the focus of my campaign at the end of the day with vision. Moving the office into the 21st century. Technological upgrades are imperative in the office to make our office operate better inside the office and better service you as our customers, the people of Lake County. And that's what we're going to do. I ask for your vote, and I look forward to answering your questions here today.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Ms. Dave, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. I'm very privileged to be in front of you today, and I feel humbled to be speaking with you. More than that, I'm very grateful that you are here because this is a critical part of our democratic process. So thank you so much for coming and listening to the candidates speak in terms of what their vision is. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a long-term Lake County resident. I graduated from Libertyville High School. I have an economics degree from Loyola University and a law degree from Loyola University. I have managed a multi-million-dollar company successfully, as I may add, and I am a practicing attorney and a small business owner and have been for a long time. What I would like to do for you is I have a plan and a vision. My plan and vision is this. A lot of people don't know what this office does. This office is critical to gaining access to the legal system. I want to make this office consumer friendly. I want to make this office modernized, brought into the 21st century. I want the computer system to be consumer friendly, and I want you all to be able to access your cases, to be able to pay your fines online. And certainly we have to have some safeguards, and we will do that. But that's what I will do. And it's been a long time coming. A lot of counties have already implemented this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. This forum, as the Recorder of Deeds, is a compact 20 minutes. We will now begin with the questions, beginning with Ms. Dave. You have 1 minute. In some counties, one can file a case or appearance in any of its branch facilities. In Lake County, probate cases must be filed in Park City. Adoptions and juvenile must be filed in Vernon Hills. Is this efficient, or would you change it?
That is a very good question, and I would absolutely change it. We need to be able to have a computer system and a system whereby we can file cases in any branch court or at the Waukegan court. And a lot of counties do that because it's efficient. And that's what we're talking about, is efficiency. Efficiency is important for the taxpayer because it saves you money. It saves you time. It saves you time off of work. And it saves your attorney's time. So yes, I am absolutely for being able to file as other counties do in any, I'm sorry, yes, stop.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. Mr. Brin, do you want me to repeat the question?
Please.
Yes. In some counties, one can file a case or appearance in any of its branch facilities. In Lake County, probate cases must be filed in Park City, adoptions in juvenile must be filed in Vernon Hills. Is this efficient, or would you change it?
Well, to start with, internally, operations are such that because the Supreme Court relies on us using paper as the official record, unfortunately, paper has to start somewhere. And as a result, because of our file folders and simple logistics, we like to keep our files as close to the actual court where they'll be heard as possible. But you are correct. To me, certainly as a customer and as an attorney, this is not efficient, which is why we're trying to put into place a technological architecture that will span the entirety of the office. This will allow people, litigants, attorneys, anyone with who can have access to the system and who would normally use our system, to file cases from anywhere. And that includes not only from any single courthouse, but from library computers that are internet capable, from their homes, from their offices, and do everything they can do from the comfort of that facility, as they could when the office was open from 8:30 to 5 in front of the counter at that particular location. These are some of the things we want to push forward to make the office more efficient and more accessible.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Mr. Brin, you'll give the first answer on the next question. What technological changes do you plan if elected?
Actually, quite a few, and we've already begun doing them. When I first came to the office approximately 3.5 years ago, not only did I realize that what we could do with an already wonderful base of operations in the office was improved with technology, but the technology could be improved not only internally, but externally. So what we did was we brought in all our customers. It's my philosophy that the best opportunities in government are to better serve your customers, not only push forward technology that could be useful inside the office. So we brought in the Bar Association, we brought in the judges, we brought in people who use the system and asked them, what do they want to see out of our system? How can we better serve them, the public, via technology? And we've designed from the ground up what is now being hailed and profiled as a state-of-the-art system. While we wait for implementation, in fact, it's gotten national interest from different courtrooms across the country, potentially as a way for courtrooms across the country to bridge the gap from old technology to state-of-the-art technology and bring courtrooms to the 21st century.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Ms. Dave, what technological changes do you plan if elected?
Thank you for asking. First of all, I beg to differ. I beg to differ with my opponent's statements. First of all, here we go again. We have an election cycle and now we want to make changes. And we have had many, many, many times, years to make these changes and they haven't been done. And if you support me, I will make those changes on day one. I will start making those changes on day one. We do not have a state-of-the-art system. We have a system that is antiquated, and with respect to my opponent, I want to say that it needed to be changed a while ago, while he had been a deputy.
Thank you, Ms. Dave.
Thank you.
Ms. Dave, you'll take the next question first.
Yes, ma'am?
Who would be your deputy? What duties would the deputy have that are different from yours?
I have not thought about who would be my deputy. I think that it is a very important position, and I do not give that position freely. Therefore, it would be a posted position, and that's what I believe in. I believe in posted positions. I do not believe in no bid contracts. I believe that people should earn what they strive for. So therefore, I cannot name a deputy. The other part of the question was?
What duties would the deputy have that are different from
Well, the
yours?
duties would be what Mr. Brin should have been doing, actually. The duties are to...
Thank you, Ms. Dave.
Thank you.
Mr. Brin?
You know, I'm very concentrating on winning this election. While we're certainly confident in what the experience and vision that we're bringing forward as a choice for the people of Lake County, it's certainly something that I haven't put really a moment's thought into. But from my own experience and what I know of the office, the clerk of the circuit court is so involved not only in things in the courthouse, with the judges, with the litigants, with the attorneys, with policy, with strategy, with managing the office, 5 courthouses, almost 150 people, more than a $12 million budget. The clerk of the circuit court can't be everywhere, at every meeting, where they need to be involved, and it's important. So the chief deputy has to be able to be there to represent the clerk of the circuit court. I'm proud to say that I've been able to do so, and honored to do so, for Sally as the clerk of the circuit court for the last 3.5 years, and I would hope that I'd be able to find someone to be able to fill those roles. And it will be a challenge, but it's certainly not something I put a tremendous amount of thought into yet, but it certainly will be something that is worthy of that thought and a great deal of search once I'm your clerk of your circuit court.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. And now we'll start with you again. Mr. Brin, should court records be accessible online? Why or why not? If so, what records should be available?
At first blush, as an attorney and as a customer, the answer is emphatically yes. What I've learned being in the office, I'd never practiced criminal law, but there are expungements, there are sealings, there are different kinds of things that affect court records down the line. And what I've come to learn as someone who uses the internet is that once something is out on the internet and is out for public consumption, it's very difficult to pull back. So there are definitely policy considerations to be made. While our records are open and accessible in most circumstances to the public, you can come on in and take a look at those records. Inside of me, I want that accessibility for the public. But then we have to balance the issue of people who would use those records to do harm to their friends, to their neighbors, to people who they would just harass because they have a divorce case or a criminal charge. So this is something that we're working on with the judges and with the Bar Association to develop a good policy going forward, a safe policy, a conservative policy, but one that will serve the interests not only of the consumers, but of the court system.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Ms. Dave?
Yes, thank you very much. I take exception to my opponent's comments because, you see, there were attorneys that were given access to online cases. There were attorneys specially picked, and the judges, the chief judge found out about it and said, hey, you gotta stop this. And basically, my opponent said, stop me. And he was stopped. So yes, I believe in online access. I believe in online access to everybody, but with some safeguards, because there have to be safeguards. And I have a whole list of companies that I've already contacted that we can deal with, and we can make a very nice system where you are benefited. So help me to help you. Support me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. We'll start with you with the next question. What is the biggest challenge for clerks assigned to courtrooms? How would you address that issue?
In my opinion, at this point, the biggest challenge is the lack of technology. Technology is going to help the clerks. We have a wonderful, wonderful bunch of clerks. They work very hard, they treat people well, but they need help. And the help they need is technology. Now, let me explain something to you. You know, in your own household, you don't put good money after bad, right? So why would we do that? Why have we been doing that for so many years, 3.5 years, decades? Why would we do that? I'm not going to do that. I understand economic frugality. I don't buy anything that's not on sale. I don't. I want to get the best product for the best price. That's what I will do for you.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. Mr. Brin, what is the biggest challenge for clerks assigned to courtrooms? How would you address that issue?
Actually, there are several challenges, and our clerks do marvelously at handling them every day. And it's basically a juggling act. Not only do our clerks have to understand and be really, really good at what they have to do for the circuit clerk's office, they are essentially a customer resource right there in the courtroom for the judges, for the litigants, for the attorneys, in keeping track of important documents, in entering documents, in calling up information for the judges and litigants, in answering different kinds of questions, in making referrals down to the clerk's office, or letting people know what they should and should not be doing inside of court, and what has to be the purview of the judge's decision, and what they should go back and talk to their attorneys about. Frankly, our clerks are absolutely wonderful at juggling all those balls in the air. And what we're going to do is bring in technology to help them out, so that there's more accessibility to information from litigants, from judges, from attorneys. So a lot of those questions will be diverted elsewhere. But I will tell you, whenever there's human interaction, especially in our courtrooms and with our lawyers and our judges, in very, very difficult situations in court, our clerks will always have to juggle those balls.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brin. This will be our last question before the closing statements. We'll start with you, Mr. Brin. What are your top 3 goals you have for this office?
Top 3. The first is to utilize technology to make things more efficient inside the office. And that includes helping to get the Supreme Court, in our best ability, to see the light, to let us go paperless. We've been asking to do it for years. The Supreme Court is very fond of the official record being of paper. I think we can do it as a paper-on-demand system or as a paperless system, much in the way that you all don't send faxes anymore. You send things by PDF and email. You send pictures by email. You don't really send them in the mail anymore. The second thing is we can make things more efficient using technology for people outside the office. Accessibility to our court records, more secure access to our court records, and accessibility 24 hours a day to what they need to do, not just 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday when the office is open. The third thing is to maintain the transparency and accountability we have in the office, being accountable to you all for every dollar and every decision we make, and presenting our budget to the county board every year so that we can tell you how we plan on spending the user fees in the office and what we plan on doing for the year ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Ms. Dave.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, everything that my opponent has said is what he has not done and is what I want to do. I want to create transparency so that on the day that I take office, you know exactly where money is going. We're not going to be doing business as usual. There has been plenty of time, decades, and in Mr. Brin's administration as Deputy Clerk, 3.5+ years. So we want to make a change. We want to go forward. We want to progress. And so what I would do is make it transparent for you, make it convenient for you. I want to create a system. I want to have a bidding contest, not a no-bid contest, a bidding contest where we get the best technology for the best buck.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. We'll now have our closing statements, and we will begin with Mr. Brin. You have 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, and thank you all again for inviting me here today to talk about this very important race. This race is about experience and vision. For the last 3.5 years, I've been working in the office. I've been doing the things that I will be doing as your circuit clerk on day one. There's no learning curve, which means I can better serve you right away. And it's a continuation of what we're trying to do now. Working with our customers, working with judges, working with lawyers, working with everyone involved in the system, with police departments, with mayors, with everyone who the court system touches, and it's an awful lot of people. We want to make sure we're doing it right. It's more than just the four walls of the courthouse. We are involved in the community at large, and everything the court touches, which, as you can imagine, is about everything in our society. Lake County is a very big place. We're the third biggest county. We have 5 courthouses, near 150 people, more than a $12 million budget. We also have to be fiscally responsible, and I will tell you, we expect to return in excess of $2 million back to the county board on money we are not using in the office. These are user fees. We use no tax dollars for anything we're doing in the office, and that includes our vision in the office, which is bringing technology to the office, upgrading the office, taking what is already working very well with our customer service and bringing it to that next level so we can better serve the people of Lake County while remaining accountable and transparent and involving all of you in our operations. I'd invite you down to the office to see what we do, see how hard our clerks work, see what it takes in our office to get the job done. You will marvel the same way I did the day I got there. Thank you. I ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Brin. Ms. Dave, you have 1.5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I'm privileged to be speaking in front of you. I, again, beg to differ with my opponent. We do not have an efficient system. We have a dinosaur of a computer system for which millions of dollars have been spent putting a bandage on a system that is going to be obsolete. So, for example, if you have a VHS system in your home and it's not working, are you going to put money towards that, or are you going to get a DVD system and make it work for a long time? That's the issue here. We want to make the front end work and the long-term work, and that is sound economic policy. That's what I want to do for you. I would like for you to support me and walk with me so that we can make things better. I want you to have a convenience factor with using this office. I would like you not to take time off of work to pay fines. I want you to be able to deal with your cases online. I would like your attorneys to look at your cases, and I'm asking for your support, and I ask you to help me to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Dave. And this concludes the forum, and the audience may applaud this.